Hello, welcome to my channel. Does this setup look familiar? This hair, the shirt, maybe. I just finished filming my books, things I hate in books, tropes I dislike, anti-buzzwords, all that good stuff. Now we're gonna do the opposite. This is the things I love in books. These are the tropes that I really enjoy. These are the buzzwords that will make me pick up any book. These are the ones. These are the ones. I'm more excited to talk about these. I love loving things. It's so much fun. I also love hating things, but I hate things in books a little bit less. So this one's going to be exciting because I have so much to talk about. I'm going to try and give as many examples as I can, but we'll have to see. So we're just going to jump right into the tropes that I really like. The first one, not in any particular order, I should say, but the first one we're going to discuss is books within books. I have a really good time with books within books or books about books, books about authors, publishing, the writing retreat. Oh, phenomenal. Fantastic. There's a book within a book and it's about authors going on a writing retreat. Perfect. That's what I'm talking about. I see so many cozy mysteries that are set in bookstores and it just makes me want to be a cozy girly mystery. What? And it just really makes me want to be a cozy mystery girly, and I'm unfortunately not, but I want to be because I love books about books. I love anything that has to do with that. The plot, incredible thriller. I really enjoy that. Okay, apparently I like a lot of thrillers about books. Interesting. The next trope that I rather enjoy, I haven't read in books too often, but I love a Groundhog's Day trope. I know that's a little bit controversial. I know people don't like it, but I adore it. I think it's so much fun. I love seeing a character stuck in a repetitive pattern and routine and having to find a way to get out of it. I think a really good take on this is the 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. That was really fun because it's got the twist of it's Groundhog's Day, but our protagonist is bouncing to different perspectives of this investigation trying to solve it. And I thought that was so clever. I haven't read a whole lot within this subgenre, but I have quite a few on my list. I think the 22 Deaths of Madison something, or something of the murder of Madison, something like that. I'm interested in that. There's a few other on my list that I want to get to. There's just something about it, and this all mostly stems from not Groundhog's Day, but Happy Death Day. I love that movie. That movie is one of my favorite horrors. It's so much fun. Happy Death Day 2, so much fun. Definitely prefer the first one more than the second, but it's one of my favorite movies. So getting books in that trope, especially if it is a thriller or horror or I guess just like overall mystery with some kind of spice, I'm into it. It's so fun. This next one, please give recommendations if you have some. I love unhinged women doing seances. That is so my vibe. A Lesson in Vengeance, The Death of Jane Lawrence, kind of the writing retreat. There's not really like a seance, but it has the vibes. I love it. I love it. I love unhinged women having seance parties, doing weird stuff. I think it's so fun. I've seen a few graphic novels like this. It's just, it's my cup of tea the whole way through. It's so much fun. It just, I love witchy books to begin with, so it just kind of adds to the flavor. Oh, so the next thing, it's not trope, maybe it's a buzzword. The next thing that I really love in books is mixed media. I have not read enough books with mixed media, and this sometimes falls under like a book within a book because you're reading a book, there's a bit of mixed media there, but I'm saying like give me emails, text messages, give me newspaper clippings. Like, I love it. It makes the reading feel a lot faster, but it feels really engaging and realistic to be like, oh, here's a newspaper clipping of the events foretold. And there's something about it that I just think is really capturing. I love it. It's so enjoyable. I know that the Illuminae Files is a good example. I know House of Leaves has that mixed media in it. I know there's a few others, but I really gotta pick up more. I need to pick up more. The next thing that I think, question mark, that I like is found family. I'm thinking House in the Cerulean Sea. I'm thinking what everyone tells me about Six of Crows and the Raven Boy cycle. I haven't read those yet, but because of the found family in them, it makes me more interested. But not only do I love a found family, but I love a found family that is obviously being found throughout the story, where you're developing the relationships, but I really like the found family that is a found family at its core, and then they take on more into the found family. So like you're seeing both sides of new people coming in and joining the family and seeing those connections blossom while still being able to see older connections and learn from them. I don't know if I'm explaining that well, but I just love the concept of a group of ragtag friends that are really close and have been close for years, and then another person or two get kind of brought in to the family, and you get to see all aspects of the dynamics and just the different types of characters you can get. It's just so cool. I love it. It's so good. This next one, I need to stop saying that. Another thing that I really love about fantasy books is gods and lore surrounding the gods. I love Dungeons and Dragons, tabletop RPG storytelling, because the gods that people come up with are phenomenal. There's a tabletop RPG called God Killer, unrelated to the book, and it is so fun how people interpret that kind of game into stories. It's incredible. God Killer by Hannah Canner, I really would love to read because I've started it and I really need to finish it because I'm so invested in these gods and the minor gods and how that all works. The Helm of Midnight, I really enjoy the gods. Jade City over here, one of my favorite things about it is the gods and the mythology that makes up this world. I thought it was beautiful, and I truly hope for more of that because I thought that's impeccable. I love gods that impact the world. I love gods that are just actively fucking shit up for the protagonist and just like being a pain in the ass sometimes. I love god interference. I love learning the lore of them, but I don't mean it in a Greek mythology way. I want a fictional one. I want it to be really badass. I am a member of a community called Death to Divinity. You can find it on YouTube and watch the show. It's tabletop RPG, and the gods that KM creates and the story is beyond any novel I could ever read, and it's beautiful. I just love gods. It is so cool to me. Another classic fantasy trope that I'm actually a rather big fan of, I know it's overdone, but the Chosen One trope. Is it because I'm an Aquarius and it's been recommended to me a lot? Maybe. But truly, I like the Chosen One. I think that it can be overdone, and I think that it can be done in a way that's more annoying than anything else because it's just too, I'm not like the other girls, I'm just too special, I'm a little snowflake, I could do no wrong, often called like the Mary Sue. Like there's a way to do it in a way that's not as enjoyable, but like Fourth Wing, for example, it's a Chosen One to an extent, and I really enjoyed how it was done. I really liked the character development within it. I think that the Chosen Ones that want to go on the adventure, Chosen Ones that are like, hell fucking yeah, let's do this, or Chosen Ones that where they're like, I'm going to die. That's, I think, like the two perfect ways to do it. Like the I'm going to embrace death, but I'm gonna try, and then they somehow like do really well against all odds, or the I'm the chosen one and I know I'm gonna do this, and they have the confidence and they have the balls and like they're just so excited. I love that. I think it's so much fun, and I think there's so much room for good character stories. Alright, another one just quickly, badass female main characters. Obviously I love a badass main character, especially if she's gonna be a female or non-binary, because they're just better. That's it. Now, I have some romance tropes that I want to get into. They can be fantasy. They're commonly romance, though. So, the bad boy with a soft side for her, touch her, you die, that kind of stuff gets me going. I know it's toxic. I don't care. I'm here for toxic, badass men love interests. Give me a female, touch her, you die. Oh, I want that. Somebody write that, please. If you have recommendations, please. I now desperately need that in my life. Wow. Sapphic, touch her, you die. Oh, that sounds like a great time. Anyway. Okay. Had a couple tech issues. I'm back. Continuing on with the tough love interest that is a softy for our main character, or softy for his family / friend group, but kind of a jackass to everybody else, a very like fuck around and find out kind of guy, kind of gal. Here for it. I'm here for it. Can it be a little too much sometimes? Yes. But for the most part, I'm like kind of a fan. So, I love a grumpy sunshine. I think Grumpy Sunshine falls under the same of like tough love interest that's a softie for the main character, touch her, you die, that kind of stuff. Like all kind of falls under Grumpy Sunshine, but I like a juvenile Grumpy Sunshine as well, where the grump is just a little storm cloud, just like always a little bit upset, a little bit grumpy, but not necessarily for like strong reasons. They just aren't as jolly of a person because that's just sometimes life, and I love that. And I love a sunshine character that is just so full of joy and life and finds the happy things, finds like pure joy in the smallest of tiniest of little things. Adorable. I love seeing a grumpy sunshine also come out of their shell and become more like the sunshine towards the end, where they're just kind of like, okay, yeah, when I'm with this love interest of mine, I come out of my shell, I find the joy of things a little bit more, even if it's not like, yes, a good bowl of pasta makes me want to dance in my seat and feel really happy about life. At least like understand the joy that the main character has, or the love interest, depending on the roles. And I just love something about that. It's really cute and I really adore it. Okay. This next one there's conversation. So, I love Friends to Lovers. I think Friends to Lovers is realistic, it is pure, it's so sweet seeing close friends, will they, won't they, because they have feelings for each other but they're too scared to ruin the friendship and admit it, and they're not sure if the other person feels the same. And there's just like a lot that can be done there. But I love seeing strong platonic friendships in books, and often you just don't really get that. That's like, you have friends and then it's all about the love interest. I like seeing friends, and so if Friends to Lovers is how I get that feeling, then I will take it any day. In similar vein, I love a Rivals to Lovers. I love an Enemies to Lovers. I think Enemies to Lovers is a bit not overdone, but over marketed. I think, and a lot of people will probably agree with me, that a lot of the times a Rivals to Lovers is pitched Enemies to Lovers. And when I think enemies, I think actual enemies, like would kill each other in a different scenario, like hate each other for a real reason, and not just some, oh, once you saw me at a party and like you looked away and rolled your eyes and now you hate me and we're enemies to lovers. Like, I don't want that bullshit. I want, if you step foot in my lair, I will have to kill you, to then somehow falling in love and becoming allies. Like, I love that. Enemies to allies to lovers. Beautiful. Oh, Rivals to Lovers is just so sweet, so fun. The Alice 6. I haven't read it yet, but Divine Rivals. That kind of stuff is just fun to me, where it's like, we're competing, especially in a school setting. That's something we'll get to in a second. But it's just so much fun. There's so much to do there. But in similar vein, lovers to enemies. Why is that not more popular? Why do we not have more depth? You're giving me 3 to 5 books in a fantasy romance, and you're gonna tell me that they're enemies to lovers, but they're lovers by the second book, and then there's like little conflict. I want lovers from the start, turned enemies, turned allies, turned enemies again. Like, I want to see just like a full spectrum of all of the enemies to lovers compilations you can do. I want all of it. There's just something about it that is so fun, seeing enemies that were once lovers use like each other's weaknesses and just knowing them so deeply against each other. And it's heartbreaking. It's so hard, but it's so good. So more of that, please. And now, that's it for like the main tropes. Now we're gonna get into like my specific buzzwords, starting with academy settings. This is a trope, but also a genre, but like buzzword. Dark academia, academic setting. I love it all. I want it all. I love being in a school. I love learning with our main character and figuring out the world. I think Babel does that incredibly well. I think the Atlas 6 falls a little short in that aspect. I think a lot of dark academia books don't include enough school setting where there's enough like learning about the world in a class. I think a funny example is like Fallen. You learn about the world in like the Angels history class, and it's so bizarre, but like, hey, give me that sweet, sweet academic setting. So yeah, I really enjoy dark academia. I also enjoy dark academia with a little bit of a murder. It just makes it a little bit more spicy, a little better. Similar to dark academia, I really get piqued when I hear there's a gothic setting. I have an entire shelf over there of my gothic books. There's just something about that setting that just, it excites me. It makes me really, really happy to be in this weird gothic setting, which is so interesting because true gothic historical fiction, not into it. Make it a historical fantasy with a gothic setting, so into it. I'm not sure why that is, but I just love the ooky spooky of gothic settings. Like, I just picture old haunted manors. Another buzzword. Haunted house, haunting, haunted. I love it all. I love supernatural, paranormal stories. I think that they're just so much fun, and there's so much room for creativity and imagination and uniqueness, and I just think that so much can be done within a story like that. I really love watching like ghost hunting adventures on TV, on like Discovery Channel, or on YouTube like Sam and Colby. Like, I just really enjoy that kind of setting. I just love spooky ghosts. Throw in a summoning, throw in a seance, throw in mirrors flying off the wall. I'm into it. Continuing with like the dark side of these buzzwords. Necromancy, oh, into it. Any book that says it has necromancy, I'm instantly adding it to the TBR. I don't care what else it's about. I love the idea of necromancy. I know that the Gideon and the 9th series is going to be necromancy. I know that a few Spiffbo books have something to do with necromancy. I am here for it. I am also into a morally gray character. I think that it is a necessity for the things that I like in books for a character to be morally gray. You mean to tell me that you're a necromancer but you're not morally gray? Like, it just can't be so. Everyone needs to be morally gray. That's the gist of it. Other things that I really like, vampires. I will pick up almost any vampire story because there's just something about it, but vampires make a story better. And even if the lore is not accurate, it's not all the same across the board, there's just something inviting about vampires. I love it. Another thing that I think I enjoy, but I haven't read enough of, are cult books. I think cults are fascinating. I love watching cult documentaries. I love trying to understand like the psychology behind cult leaders. A banger of a song, by the way, Cult Leader. Ooh, good song. I just think that they're really interesting and you can do a lot with them. I know that I really want to read like Mother, Just Like Mother, with the baby doll face. I really want to pick that one up. There's a couple other, but there's just something about cults that just, they're so interesting, and you can do so many things with them. So I do enjoy a cult book. Another thing that I enjoy, slowly getting out of the dark stuff, we've got anti-hero. That's something I also enjoy. I think that it just makes for a better story plot. I love thieves, heists, assassins. I think heist stories are not done enough, and I think that more thieves and assassins should just like be normal in books. Not so frowned upon, you know? Like, it should be okay to like kill people. I'm completely joking. Do not kill anybody. That's bad. But in a fantasy world, I think there's room for murder. You know? It doesn't always have to be for bad, per se. I'm the morally gray main character. Oh no. I just think that it makes for a very interesting story. I love when our main character is a thief or is in like an assassin's guild. I just think all of that is very fun and interesting, and I love the dynamics of those characters. There's just something about them that makes them real funny. I don't know if it's all the death or the sneaking around, I don't know, but they're funny characters and I really enjoy them. I know that Throne of Glass is supposedly like that, but when I say like I want a badass thief assassin main character, I want to see it. I don't want to be told that they're the best, I want to see that they're the best. Another thing that I should mention along with thieves, pirates. Oh, I love a pirate book. I have right here is my Adrian Young section, which has Fable and Namesake and Saint and the one with the blacksmith. I fucking love a blacksmith. Young. What is it? Oh my god. I'm going insane. The Last Legacy. The Last Legacy. Oh, they're so good. The Adventures of Amin al-Sarafi. So good. I enjoyed All the Stars and Teeth, but I didn't quite love it as much. I have Daughter of the Pirate King over here. I also really enjoyed that. I love a pirate book. There's so much room for hijinks and a goofy, silly, fun time while still having like serious things going on. I also just love an ocean setting. Can we just talk about that? I love coasts. I love the ocean. I love it all so very much. It's my favorite setting. It's my favorite setting. Other things that I really enjoy. If you've seen my 5-star audit, some of these will be familiar. A training montage or a tournament. Tournaments just really pique my interest. There are so many different directions that you can take a tournament. I know like Fourth Wing has some tournaments going on. I think, yeah, I would say the Empire of Dreams has tournaments. It also has training montages. It is the best of both worlds. Those things just really pique my interest. The Serpent and the Wings of Night has tournaments, although not the best ever. They're not bad either. But tournaments just really pique my interest. And I love a training montage. I love the action of it. I can't wield a sword, so I want to live vicariously through my character who can. Something that I really enjoy that's a little bit controversial for some people, I love animal companions. I love mystical creatures. I just love animals. That's the truth of it. I just love animals so much. They're so dang cute. And I just like having them. Do they need to talk? Not typically. But I think there's a creative way in which you can have them speak, at least speak to, like if they're familiar, have the familiar be able to communicate with the witch, have dragons be able to communicate with their writer. I think there's like ways to do it that make it good, but just like Disney talking animals wherever you go, a little iffy on that one. But I do wish there were just like more pets in books. I understand like you're going on an adventure, it's not really practical to bring your bunny, but at the same time I would like more pets. Is that too much to ask for? Going into the more, this is going to be like the final little section, it's all just tied together in some way. Cool magic systems. This is very broad. I just like unique and cool magic systems, but my favorite type of magic system that is just not done enough is card magic. Whether that be tarot cards, whether that just be a completely made up fantastical deck that is scattered across the world and they have these cool abilities. I just think card magic is so freaking cool. Oh my god. Hotel Magnifique has one character, side character, has card magic, and I just think he is the coolest for it. I think that card magic is some of the most interesting and entertaining magic systems you could do, because there's just a vast amount of endless possibilities that you could hold within a deck of cards. So good. So good. Speaking of cards, where do you often play cards? Maybe like a carnival? I love a carnival setting. We've discussed this, I'm sure, enough. I love magic shows like Where Dreams Descend. I love The Night Circus. I love Caraval. Those are just some of my favorite books of all time, and I just adore them. It's so fun being in a circus. I'm really excited to get into circus horror, like the Cotton Candy Massacre? The Clown Massacre? Something like that. I'm really excited to get to more branching out. I don't necessarily like clowns, but I do like clowns in my horror, so ugh. And then, of course, you can't have a beautiful, magical show without ball scenes. Every fantasy book in the history of fantasy books should have a masquerade ball. There should be a dance, there should be a ball scene in every book. I love them. Something I love about Adeline Grace is Adeline Grace will always have a ballroom scene for me. And I appreciate it so much. It's so nice. I love characters dressing up and looking their best, or having like secret identities because everyone's stupid when you put on a mask. I eat that up. It is so freaking good. It's so good. It's so cute. I love the dancing. I love feeling like I'm in the room. Atmosphere is a very big part of my reading experience. The more I can see it, the better the book is. So House of Salt and Sorrow is my perfect example of an ocean setting with ballroom scenes. I felt like I was in that ballroom. I could see the food across the room. I could see the people dancing. I could see the masks. I could see the outfits. I could see their beautiful dancing slippers. I could see it all. But I also felt like I was on a Oregon coast trip where it was stormy and rainy and dark, and I just eat it up. I eat it up. That's like all I ever need in a book. I love it so much. I do understand that if things that I loved and adored were in every single book, so if every single fantasy I picked up actually had a masquerade ball, maybe it wouldn't be so special and I maybe wouldn't like it so much. I get it. But for right now, I just need more of it. So please, 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 please give me your recommendations. Also tell me what some of your favorite tropes or buzzwords are when it comes to reading. I would love to know. I'm always open to trying out new things and exploring different avenues. I love themed reading vlogs, so I'm hoping to slowly explore new tropes, maybe tropes that you guys like, maybe tropes that are very popular that I haven't dabbled in too much. I think that would make for fun content, just to do some fun little like week-long reading vlogs where I read your guys' favorite tropes, whatever it may be. Maybe I'll have to start reading a lot more romance. Who knows? Either way, I had a lot of fun talking about these. I'm like losing my voice. I've been shouting a little bit too much about tropes that I like. It's fine. But that's gonna be it for me. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave any recommendations if you have any, or if you're just wanting to share about some of your favorite books. I truly would love to know, and I would love to maybe read some of them. But until next time, thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Goodbye.